warm-up play that so many of these other squads did. So if you're going to try and take advantage of it, you better do it off the rip, right?
Yeah, they don't have that hands-on experience with these teams, right, that so many of the others do. But looking at these 16 teams, I'm trying to pick out the 4 that I think are going to be the challengers coming into those grand finals, right? I think it's fairly clear. I'm back in Team Spirit all the way. Kitsune, a storied IGL with that cool, calm, collected stage experience, our global stages. He absolutely can lead this team to victory, and they've got the talent to do so. I believe in them. Falcons as well, another team that I think we would both agree should be in those finals.
For sure. I mean, I was straight up shocked to see them, in the survival stage in the first place. So hopefully we could see them snag one of those slots. But at the end of the day, 2 days, it's anyone's game.
I've taken the 2 easy picks there.
Right? That is true.
Do you want to throw anyone else's name in the hat on that one?
Let's see. Honestly, I mean, D plus Kia showed us some good signs of life. I wouldn't mind seeing them there. Mad Bulls has kind of been like one of those little squads that honestly disappointed me yesterday or the day before yesterday. Watching them play so passive when they could have got it done towards the end. I think that after that last match of their group stage, they had to go home and just say, you know what, we got to go back to the drawing board, because it's moments like that either you go crazy afterwards or it's just dead silence.
I'm looking at Inco, the little bro of Brazil, right?
There you go.
This is a team that sat in the shadow of Alpha 7 and Team Liquid for quite a while now. Whenever you talk about Brazil, it is those 2 rosters, obviously previously with Loops in the mix. That was there as the presence that they had. But I feel like Inco, they were 13th place, right? By 3 points, they didn't qualify to the group stage. This is our top-performing team coming out of those group stages. They've got the most experience against the rest of this lobby. I think that they can do it. I think they've got the chops. We'll have to wait and see, though, because there are plenty of other teams taking that fight. And one of those teams, Team Liquid, in those finals already, they're going to be happy with that performance.
Yeah, another team, if I were to pick one more, I think I got to go with Twisted Minds. And the reason why is just because that storyline, them starting all the way at the bottom, working their way up little by little, and now here in Saudi. As a matter of fact, I talked to their IGL. I talked to Igor, right? And I asked Igor, I was like, you ready for the survival stage, bro? And he said, oh, I'm ready. I was like, there's only 4 slots available. He looked back in my eye, and he said, nah, there's only 3 slots available, because we're getting one, Whoa. So I was like, all right, I like that confidence. But, at the end of the day, it's you either got to put up or shut up.
Yeah, coming from the PMSL as well. We'll see if they're able to keep up that pace to make sure that they are getting everything done, because that trophy looks sweet. Whew, and it is going to be one hell of a task to lift it. It looks pretty lightweight, but I assure you, it is one heavy burden.
Oh, man. You know what's going to help make it heavy? All that money.
Oh,
baby, all that money. $400,000 going to first place in the finals. That is what I'm talking about here. I mean, this prize pool has been insane. $3 million. We already gave $1 million away just the other day, and now we got another $380,000 to give away in the next 2. But it's only 4 slots. Only 4 slots. Yeah, a good chunk of that money's great, but you need to make it to those finals.
That's true. 4th place, the results, the reward for 4th place, $26K. 5th place, $25.5K. It's $500, but it is a whole lot of disappointment that's involved in that. And I say $500 like that isn't a lot of money as well, by the way. Split between the players. That's a cool new pair of trainers.
That's right.
Each. But yeah, let's take a look at some more of our teams coming into this one.
Eu acho que eles vão votar UMP em primeiro.
Eu acho que a WM.
Em primeiro?
Eu acho que a WM é a mais famosa.
Tá.
Mas pode botar a UMP, né?
Eu acho que é UMP.
Pode ser a UMP. Tá. A WM em segundo, né?
A WM em segundo.
A WM. Terceiro.
Complicou agora.
DBS acho que tá muito famoso ultimamente. Até.
Ou Scarelli. É que é o público, né?
Não, mas acho que.
DBS eu também acho, né?
Dessas aí, a Scarelli tem que estar, né?
São os que será que na frente da DBS?
Acho que sim, na frente.
Scarelli. Scarelli, terceiro.
Daí depois sim, DBS.
Agora DBS. DBS em quarto.
Agora
complicou.
S2K, né?
O público, será? O Berril não tô com gosto.
Berril ou S2K, acho.
A mais famosinha eu acho que é Berril. Mesmo que nós usamos.
Berril.
M762.
Agora S2K, né? S2K. E isso aí tá difícil, as duas são ruins.
Acho que Thompson depois do
Thompson. E a última, pode mandar lá no fundo.
Essa é horrorosa.
O que tu acha? Nós acertou quantos?
Acho que metade.
O top 2 acho que nós acertou.
Acho que acertou umas 4 de 8.
Tá. Dá pra ver agora?
A gente acha que acertou 4.
Eu falei a WM. Caralho. Berril segundo.
Tá onde?
Terceira. Junto com a S2K. Nossa, né? Impossível o Bison ser melhor que a DBS. Tipo,
Quantos caras voltam
Não, tá doido.
Não tem como.
A WM eu sabia,
falou.
sim.
Eu tava pensando.
Todo mundo gosta de sniper.
Só que tipo, os caras tão igual. A Berril
nós errou muito.
Nós acertou quantos? Nenhum.
Nós acertou...
Nenhum.
Foi
já.
Meu Deus.
Mano, mas não tem sentido.
Acabou.
Valeu, gente. Obrigado. Até mais. Tamo junto.
We are heading into our first match of survival stage. That is right. It is just about to kick off with dual gaming chipsets and the 144Hz AMOLED screen. GT20 Pro will equip teams with up to 120 FPS, which is also the first batch of supported devices offering esports level performance and visually stunning experiences. In the 2024 PNWC, the first plane is up. It's a northwest lean, but it's Sandhawk. You can get where you're going.
Let's get it going here. It all comes down to this. Only a few matches that we're going to be able to see here, and quite a few teams are going home. So those 4 slots, who is going to get them? Right now, my eyes are right dead center of the map. Are we going to get that boot camp hot drop? I am seeing 2 colors right close to each other. And it is Team Spirit going up against the Falcons early.
We've got another scrap as well, but we'll hop on board with this. Nurzed with the first knock over towards Team Spirit. There's the trade. Nomi still down, not going to be res just yet. Can't really find it. Another knock over towards Team Spirit, and it's 3 versus 2 on the early scrap for boot camp. Naomi trying to move around Kitsune, going for the rotate around the edge. Then look at her try and put pressure onto Naomi now. He needs to hold his nerve, and it's not there. Team Spirit immediately dispatched, and boot camp a graveyard for this roster. Falcons able to take it home.
What a crazy start. Are you kidding me? And a really risky move from Team Spirit. Unfortunately not paying off at all. Team Falcons are going to get the 4 eliminations off the rip. And they have all 4 up, so it couldn't have gone better for them.
What a way to kick things off. Falcons taking out one of their main rivals in Team Spirit for the first match. Still plenty to play, but that is not going to be good news for the roster. They didn't even get 1 elimination out of that fight. It is no consolation. And boot camp might just go to the Falcons. I'm going to be interested to see what the Team Spirit team will do to adjust in the next Sandhawk. It's going to be a while before that. Let's look at this circle, right? We've got a southeast shift. We've got Quarry slap bang in the middle of it. IWNRX control a lot of the ground to the north side, but those compounds around that quarry are going to be all important for rotational play.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be terrible. I don't know how Team Spirit need to find a way to bounce back after that, because not only did they sit at a group stage, they only played, 2 minutes of this map, and they're going to have to wait a good 30 to 40 before they can start playing again. So, oh boy, that is one of their 12 matches they're going to be playing here. Gone, just like that.
It's out of there.
Oof. I'm looking at the zone, so I always look at that northwestern island. We're going to see T-Pandem up there. They're the only squad that actually took that island. So they're going to have to find a way on in. And D plus Kia are actually in a really good position as well. They are all the way down, spreading out through Kampong and Docks. So they have that bottom right side of the map completely locked down.
Falcons and Team Spirit was not the only hot drop that happened. Painan also got a little bit spicy, with Harame Bro taking now 3 casualties to the Moneymakers, who have been shunting them out to the south side. That is a really important, again, rotational pass point, right? In Painan, being able to control that ground, really important. But that hill to the northeast is always its Achilles heel, right? You've got that difficult overlook to deal with. If CAG Osaka move into that position, they might be able to spot a moneymaker or two and pick up a point for their troubles. Rook coming up.
Oh!
Zedwolf?
What?
Just spraying them down. They've got a crossfire. Rook just disappeared.
Gone in an instant. Just like that. I mean, we're seeing teams go out like crazy off the rip. And let's look at the replay here, though. Oh, my goodness. IDC coming out from the other angle, finding the M4. How fortunate. And just putting in some work. Team Spirit didn't have a chance. Look how many. You only had, 14 rounds left? That's all you need.
You only need 4 shots, right?
That's right.
I suppose if you can get one through with the appropriate caliber, you only need 3 even, or 2.
What a way to start things off. Looks like some teams were kind of thinking alike because aggression off the rip seems to be the way. And it has paid off for quite a few squads. You got IWNRX with 4, Falcon with 4, and Moneymakers with 3. Harami, bro, that last player is going to have to find a way to scavenge a couple placement points.
Yeah, hopefully they'll be able to find something into this one. I'm not too hopeful for it, however. Sandhawk can be treacherous at the best of times. South side of Quarry, around the cave area, currently starting to get more and more occupied. TJB hold the areas around cave, around the top of that hill, and they should be able to exert a lot of control over the surrounding area. Besiktas currently split 2 and 2 either side of the crossing down to the south edge near Bantai on that side of the map. So potential for them to remain split for just a little bit longer. I don't think too many teams are actually going to be putting too much pressure on them. So we'll see what they're able to do from that south edge.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Right now I'm looking at Team Falcons. Team Falcons are still in boot camp. Normally I think we see a lot of teams in a position like this leave pretty early and try to take that hill right above them. But I think since they have those 4 eliminations, let's look at this. Oh, it was actually a knife battle to start things off. N16 coming on out. You can just see him shaking his head. No, please, no.
You're not going to be able to convince him with that.
No, not in the survival stage, that's for sure.
Oh, those points are gold dust right now. Inco currently still holding around the bridge. It looks like they want to try and catch someone moving from Camp Alpha, but that's not to be, because currently nobody now remains on the northwestern island. They're still vigilant. They still think something's going on, but they're going to have to get on their way fairly soon, because all the crossings are now going to be really treacherous ahead of them, trying to move out to the east.
Yeah, this is what I like to see, though. I like to see teams scouted out, just really trying to check every single angle before they start moving. I don't want to see any kind of crazy third, fourth circle drive-ins to the middle of the map. That just doesn't work. And honestly, I was so shook. I was actually talking to Calaris about this. We were really surprised to see some of these kind of wild rotations from these players during the group stage. So I hope a lot of them took that day off, did their homework, and realized it's a lot better going out with an M4 in your hand than just kind of driving, silly-willy all in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I've just noticed? Is that the 2 teams have gone out. 2 of our new teams.
Oh, that's right.
Right? So maybe what you were talking about,
Spirit.
that freshness, that coming in without having had the grind of the previous 3 days of games, maybe that's coming back to bite them. We'll have to wait and see if they can pick up the pace. Obviously, it's the big Sandhawk asterisk that sits atop that result in this first match, but I feel like Team Spirit may be a little bit more excusable than what happened to Rook. They just rolled up to IWNRX with nothing.
Got shredded just like that. Take a look here at Paradise Resort, now outside of the zone. Let's see where this next zone is going to go. Are we going to get another crazy shift? Or will it center on up? All these teams that are right there. Oh, okay. This is actually a really good shift for Inco.
Yeah, I was going to say, these guys have been holding this bridge still in the blue zone. I feel like now they've got to figure out, okay, guys, maybe there actually isn't anyone, but they've definitely cleared out their flank, which is going to be a big attribute to them.
Yes, yeah. Now they know that their backs are going to be clear, because if someone was going through that bridge, they would have definitely, passed it up by now. So now they're going to start heading their way in little by little. Only team they really got to look out for is Moneymakers, but we do see a little bit of a fight starting to ring out. At least one of the Mad Bulls getting caught on rotation. Now we're seeing Team Falcons punishing another squad as well. The shots are definitely starting to ring out.
Falcons on 5 eliminations. They've moved southeast from boot camp, holding down IWNRX, controlling the west side of this quarry. They're in a really powerful split right now, and not too much pressure being exerted on them. With the Mad Bulls trying to flee underneath them, try and get away from the position that they hold, it doesn't look too likely that they're going to go for this crash. Once they res up, they might try and fall back, but they've already got that outpost further south, and the regroup there far more likely. So IWNRX in a pretty safe spot right now.
Man, IWNRX was one of those squads that you were looking at hard during the group stage and just came up short. I mean, just from your experience, why do you think that was?
It just felt like Zedwolf wasn't able to be enabled in the same way that he was during EMEA. The guy was insane. He still is insane at the game.
For sure.
Coming into this one, though, it just wasn't set up, wasn't enabled. It felt like there was just no synergy amongst this roster. There wasn't any sort of initiative being taken, and I don't know really what to chalk it up to be honest. It's
so many reasons.
It's just a real tough lobby, I guess. That's kind of
a fact
where it sits for these guys. And yeah, I was disappointed with them. They had that really strong final match, right? But it just wasn't enough.
Was that a double knock? That was a double knock right there from the final player of Harami, bro. Unfortunately, yeah, he's all by his lonesome. He's going to try to be able to throw another one here. Maybe get a confirmation. Actually throws it into that door. Oh, he's bringing out with the DBS. He's in trouble. Moss, gotta get it done. Oh, he's down to like half an HP, and he's done for.
That is going to be our first team from the group stages getting eliminated in 14th place. Harami Bros 0 points, but Team Pandem were not too far away from the chopping block either on that engagement either. So we'll have to wait and see how much further they can go with the 2 players they've got. Inco have made their move. They're trying to sweep through, and who's in their way? It's the Falcons. They're going to be looking to pick up even more points now. 5 eliminations already. Is Inco going to be able to change things?
Solid rotation for the Falcons. They came here from boot camp, and they catch Inco off guard here, and they are punishing him. That's 2 knocks, and Nenebete up top being knocked. That completely eliminates that angle. Gary going down as well. It's all up to action.
It's trying to move forwards, putting that Molotov in. Vitali trying to hold down the off angle, but the smoke is there, and there's an off angle of their own for Falcons. Icy able to cool things down now. There's action heating it up in return. Nenebete turns tail. Inco cannot punch through the Falcons hold.
Yeah,
wait, Falcons are on the south coast. They've crossed the river.
Oh yeah, yes they did. Yeah, they moved on over, and they held that edge really well against Inco Gaming. So Team Falcons, 8 eliminations already. Every single player up. Now things are going to start getting tough, though. They got to push through either Pinon or maybe try to rotate down south through Camp Charlie. We'll see what they got to do, but, you know, they don't have much time to do it. Only 47 seconds on the clock right now. It's going to start really punishing teams.
Push that south side in. Falcons, right? A little bit further out. Time brute force might backfill though.
Yeah, let's see what happens. I'm looking at Team Falcons, and Team Falcons actually decided to go north, so they are going to be going through that Pinon Bridge, yeah, and are going to be trying to come through the top through Quarry, and it's possible that, you know, they felt that this side would be a little bit more free, considering that it is the hard shift side. It's not a full hard shift, but let's give them a little bit room to breathe, so let's see how they decide to push on in.
They are still marauding around. I believe that's the direction that they rotated from that north shore, because remember they started in boot camp and then went to that south island. I believe that north bridge was where they rotated from, so it was the clearest that they knew to scout and return. But brute force now might be a little counter up on the tracks, but with the shots ringing out now, I think Falcons are going to know. They dip into the blue actually to just get even further around this one. They're playing on the east side of Quarry. Might even crash into D+ if they go much further.
They're playing it very safe right now, but they got to be careful because this is all unknown territory. They have no idea where these other teams are, but let's see how they decide to sneak in. So instead, they fully send it on down into the Quarry, and that is going to be semi-safe for now. Brute force is going to have some good eyes on them. Oh, they're burning up bad. I'm surprised that they continue to send it on over here, but they do survive.
Okay, they managed to get to some cover. The vehicles, though, gonna have to be ditched. Playing into Quarry, I mean, it's risky. It's really risky, because especially when you got Brute Force who know where you are, with D Plus who now know where you are. D Plus Kia gonna start to put the punishment down towards action. He's got a nade. He's gonna pull the pin up towards that watchtower. That could be good. If it gets through the window, I don't think it quite tagged on in, so it's not gonna have the impact that we're looking for. Brute Force took a knock in the meantime.
That was such a risky rotation from the Falcons. I mean, they could have just pushed in little by little and used their weapons, but instead, just crazy bold. They're so lucky that UAS even flipped over right on time, and they were able to make it into this next circle. The only thing is that they're completely trapped here. Like, if the zone goes anywhere away from this, they have no means to get there other than their 2 feet right below them.
Yeah, those Gams gonna need to start to
hoof it,
plonk their way forwards. It's going to be a tough march, though. Moneymakers onto the hillside. They've left from Painan now, and they're pushing up towards CAG Osaka. Both teams on 4 players alive. 4 eliminations already for hot drop. And D Plus Kia going to find action from Falcons in the meantime in the quarry. The fight on the hilltop now for Moneymakers and CAG Osaka going to rage on as the nades go back and forth, and Koa goes down first. Nades coming back, and Garnet wants to put another one right on the money, but it's not quite going to do the damage to get the flush. Knocks not going to be coming through thick and fast. There was a re-knock, by the way, on the Falcons versus D Plus Kia fight as the circle shifts out far to the east. That's going to be interesting for them. The Moneymakers, a second knock, and in goes the US. They spray forwards, but there's an answer. Icy Boss at the back will be able to take the first approach down, but it's all up to him. A nade, a smoke, a Molotov's going to push him out wide. The blue zone's going to take him down, and that is all she wrote for the Moneymakers. 4 points on the match, and that's all they'll find. 5 elims, they did get 1 in response.
Now let's go ahead and move on over to this fight, TJB versus Mad Bulls. And it looks like one of their players is out of position. Yeah, he's going to get eliminated, so that's down to just 2 remaining squads. And this fight is really going to ring out because this is the center of this next circle. GK first, actually, they can wait. They shouldn't mind having to share this compound. But if they're going to make this push, they have to do it right now, because third parties are going to be coming like crazy in just a few seconds.
It's a really important compound for TJB to try and hold Twisted Mind's position right now. I'm a big fan of, once Besiktas regroup as well, is going to be a stronghold in these next phases. The difficulty of trying to keep such a wide split right now, they need more control to hold that top spot.
I didn't even want to say it, John. I have been begging for a Sandhawk cave circle since like the beginning of time. So I want it so bad. Come on, Zone, go down south. I want to see a cave finish.
One of the best finishes I've ever seen. It wasn't very loud. In fact, it was a 0 elimination chicken dinner that came through. It was De Muerte at the time, and they hid down in the cave, and everybody else could out heal the blue. They just had more meds with the last player for De Muerte, and they were able to get 0 eliminations and win it out by hiding in cave.
Let's see if we can see that. Meanwhile, the Falcons are going to be trying to make it happen here on the north side where Quarry is. D Plus Kia throwing some nades, trying to make the rotation even more difficult. Icy is starting to find some angles, though. He's able to make it up the hill. D Plus Kia need to start watching their backs here soon.
9 eliminations now for Falcons. They are angry that they did not make it into those group stage.
That nade.
Positions. A nade up top nearly finds top K. Going to be taken down a little bit lower. There's a spray from an off angle. Another nade put up towards him, but no knocks found just yet. Top still is alive and kicking, but he needs to get some healing done to avoid another nade. And K, same story for him. The shift out to the west forces them to play around the edge of this quarry even further.
RIP K finish. The dream has ended, but you know what? The dream is just beginning for so many of these squads. And Team Falcons are absolutely crushing it. 9 eliminations so far. They're going to have to find a way into this next zone. You can see them starting to hoof it towards that circle. Icy is the one that's stuck out of position here. And with only... actually he has 3 smokes, or those stuns? No, those are stun grenades, so no smokes to his name. He's going to have to do it with the bullets in his M4.
Brute Force making their way across the west side of the quarry ridge, and it's not going to be slowed down, but it will be stopped. Actually, Top finds the angle that they were looking for, and they will slow it down, but Top goes down in the meantime. Brute Force move into the bottom of quarry as well. That basin starting to fill up now, and it is so much pressure that the Falcons have been bearing for a while, and I'm surprised that they've made it this far with all 4 players alive.
Top is knocked. Let's see if Action's able to make it across. Oh, Brute Force saw it coming. They're applying that pressure to Action and just forcing him out right here. Blue zone is going to start closing in the next few seconds. It's another team down.
Oh, let's go. Action. Spray down towards the Brute Force front point. They're looking for that res, but the control on the cross from Neos is so impactful right now. He's going to get pushed out by the blue, but the nade goes up high. Is it going to reach over that cliff face? It bounces just a little bit short, but falls down. Doesn't find a knock. Not quite. Neos goes down. A pivotal pick for Action to be able to find his teammate, and Top might even get the res here.
Let's see if it's going to happen. This zone is starting to close pretty quickly. I think they're going to have to let him go for now. Actually, never mind. They're going for that res. That zone is on the thin side, so it is closing ever so slowly. The rest of Brute Force, actually, it's only one player left. It's Freezer.
It's all up to the rookie for the roster. Freezer, in his debut season.
Oh, in the open? No way.
He's doing work for Brute Force as a champ, but he can't hold up to the brutal force of Falcons. They just tear him apart, and it's 12 eliminations now.
Just feed them. Just feed them. Team Falcons are soaring right now. 12 eliminations, 3 players still up, and they did it the hard way. Top now getting knocked by TJB. Every single team is facing the Falcons at this point. Can they continue to hold on as we now look on the other side of the circle? IWNRX finally trying to make a name for themselves. 7 eliminations. They're off to a massive start.
This is one hell of a sequel to the tournament. We are going to get a real treat right now. If IWNRX actually start to turn things on, it is a fascinating, entertaining roster to watch. So I am really excited. They've managed to start this sweep out on the western edge. They're looking to control the high ground now. They've got 7 eliminations. Sure, Falcons rack up the Baker's dozen with 13 now, but IWNRX still have plenty more to go, and they're in a better position.
Team Falcons with 13 eliminations. How are they still up? Now Top starting to shoot up the hill. He gets that knock. That buys his team enough time to just start moving. These guys are just too good. It is really IWNRX's game to lose at this point. They have so much real estate here, but they gotta stop the Falcons.
Another nade, gonna do a lot of damage, doesn't quite get the knock over towards Frozen, and he's got that first aid off as well. Keeps him alive for a little bit longer. Swain's there for the backup.
Gotta hit it.
Strafing back and forth, and finally the Falcons fall to IWNRX. 8 eliminations. TJB, I believe, had some third-party action going in over that way to keep the suppression up. That compound for TJB, I said it before, was all important, but it is IWNRX. I mean, do you need any more of an indication as to who's going to win this one? You can't predict anybody but IWNRX on this.
Hey, you know what? IWNRX just got this game on a silver platter. They should win this 100% of the time. If they lose, it is 100% on them. So let's see what ends up happening. Last few stragglers trying to soak up some points. Good to see Mad Bulls making it here towards the end. But with that blue zone coming, that is all she wrote.
TJB holding the north side. Lines. They are trying to make it work, but Ratto wasn't able to scurry his way on through, and now TJB have to leave. IWNRX have a shooting gallery, all of those ducks trying to hop out the barrel, and it's just not going to work, Hot Jukes.
They better hop out quick because GK first. Oh, we're trying to get a critical knock to make something happen for his squad, but IWNRX, they got that barrel locked down.
It is not an easy time. Only longs for TJB, and IWNRX, they channel the force that they were able to exert in their final match of the group stages. They play with a gifted circle towards the end, and that is how you want to close it down. A big statement made for IWNRX, a statement made for Falcons as well, as they open the bidding with a big Sandhawk.
That is what we've been waiting to see from these squads. IWNRX, they did not let off the gas, right? They didn't go and just sit back and relax and say, you know what, yeah, we got this game. We'll just see whatever happens. No, they took the initiative. They got those double-digit eliminations because they know they can't count on the rest of the maps to make something happen. So they got that opportunity. Very fortunate for them, but they really drove it home.
I'm really now going to be keeping my eyes on this roster, right? I kind of discounted them. Honestly, I wasn't really considering them for a top spot, but if this is the sort of quality of gameplay they're going to bring, it's going to be good news. But of course, you have to mention that the Circle was a 5th player.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the way it goes. That's
are the teams coming out the gate strong. IWNRX taking home the chicken dinny. I know how much you love me saying that. But also Team Falcons putting out some good eliminations.
Yes. Against teams that really they should not even get eliminations up against from the get-go here, Jason. What the hell was that hot drop, okay, Mr. Talking about Team Spirit, okay?
I'm surprised someone didn't rip me straight away. But you remember that time you said Spirit was really good on Sandhog? Why? Look, we assumed maybe that hot drop scenario would have just been resolved. Apparently not. I don't know why you were going Challenge Falcons at the beginning of the game, but there you go. That is going to really stunt some growth here, I think, for these 2 days.
It's not even the only one, right? You had Moneymakers versus Harame Bro. So you had 2 hot drops happening also in Painan, so those need to be resolved. Of course, it is only Sandhog. If it happens on a Wrangle, it is pretty bad, but, you know, hopefully they can fix it for the second day.
Kalaris, did you notice something there on the leaderboard?
No, I was looking at you.
Well, I can understand. DRX, 8 points.
Hooray! That's better than I thought it was going to be. Actually, that's more points than they got in that first day.
And that kind of gets them in the top 4.
For now.
They could be making it into the main event.
It's one game. Now. Let's calm down, okay? It's one game.
We'll take a look at the rest of the list here. You can see a lot of teams here getting 0 points. I'm kind of a little bit sad Seven's not here to talk about Inko, and they're a big fat goose egg. But Brute Force again, 2 points for them. Moneymakers get themselves 5s. It is Sandhawk, so we won't judge too harsh. You only have 2 of these over the course of these 2 days. You'll still have 6 Erangels and 4 Miramars. Twisted Minds. Where'd they go?
They went cave.
They went cave.
Ratto Boy surviving until the very end. Ratto Boy. But leaving cave is just not going to work out when you have what was it? Animals and TJB in the compound.
It's kind of my.
Actually, I want to see it again now. Yeah.
Okay. Ratto Boy.
There you go. Just for you.
Appreciate it.
It's a great name. I love it.
It's the best name.
But let's talk about IWNRX really quickly. Obviously, taking the zone towards them.
Yeah.
But they were insanely quiet, I would say. I'm going to go to you on this one. Insanely quiet during the group stage. And this is a team that I feel like we maybe had better expectations of because in PMSL EMEA, Z-Wolf was just the MVP. Like, he was hands down easily the MVP, but he was so silent the first 2 days.
And technically, this roster as a whole, there's a lot of lineage behind this roster when it comes to the Turkish region, how they're going to perform. For this game specifically, obviously, it felt like they had a bit of a delivery towards them, and then all they had to do was really sit towards the middle to be able to greet teams coming towards them. But they did a great job of doing it up on the high ground here, and if the circle's going to come your way, what better way than to just sit back, sit pretty.
Yeah, I mean, they had, because they didn't loot too much in this game, they went very quickly to the warehouse, and after that, I just talk with my hands, Jason.
You do a lot of this.
I do that, a lot of that, but Rook were instantly going for the rotation, and they just got extra loot of 4 players for pretty much free, so they could just stand in that position for the entirety of the match, and the moment the circle moves away, guess what? You go for the high ground position, start obliterating all the teams around you, and get what I would call a pretty free chicken dinner here to kick off the day.
What about good old TJB? We criticized them heavily about they were similar to D+ in terms of when playing in compounds, playing with more of a center zone. They did fairly well. They really struggled on their second day.
Sure.
A good start for them, at least.
But it was very similar, though, right? Like, they have that compound south towards Cave's position. As we take a look at some of the highlights here from the games, and it seemed very similar to a previous Sandhawk that they were able to do well on, right? Just have the hot compound, hold it down, force teams around you to make some uncomfortable decisions. And you saw us, for example, Twisted Minds having to fire Cave alongside this. There's not much wiggle room for the teams around them.
I kind of liked what TJB were doing too, because they were in the same compound as Mad Bulls, but they weren't actively fighting each other. Like, okay, a lot of teams are going to be trying to leave Cave or rotate around Cave.
Yeah.
Let's work together in a symbiotic relationship and get as many points as possible, then try and leave, which against IWNRX's position is nigh impossible, but at least I survive into the late game and get a few eliminations here.
And I get it, because there's too many compounds on Sandhawk where you cannot hold them yourself without taking casualties.
On the roads especially, yeah.
Yeah, so you need to make sure that you're making mature decisions and just backing off from some of those fights to then live later into the game alongside your newfound friends who are in the
Ratto Boy?
Not Ratto Boy. He wasn't. Anyway.
There is a specific player that I didn't even notice he was actually played until this match, and to be fair, it was his first match actually. Old Boy.
He's in.
I thought it was just going to be perma sub for the team, but he's actually playing today when he didn't get any matches in during the group stage.
I don't know what to expect of that though, because I have not seen him play at this level in a... Like, how long has it been since he's played in these types?
Well, how much hair did you have when last time you saw him play?
No.
full afro. It was crazy.
It was 2020 back in the days where I had a hairline.
But the thing is, he has experience playing at a high level. However, the high level back then is much different than the high level now.
Yeah, and it was way different back then because you would have like 1, 2 fraggers. Now every player on your team needs to frag out. Old Boy could do that, but like it's a completely different caliber of play now. So we'll see. Of course, it's just a Sandhawk. I want to see on the Wrangle on Miramar how that's going to work out, but it is a big addition that can be impactful if he's able to play at the peak of what he can bring to the table.
All right, well, we do actually have a special video for you guys at home that we wanted to show here, and can we actually just throw this up for you guys so you can take a in-depth look into Sandhawk? Let's pull it up.
Not make the cut.
You might have had Brute Force win EMEA, but I do think Team Spirit has the highest skill ceiling potential, at least. If you think about their run in EMEA as well, breaking things down, 7 podium finishes, and a lot of those were first places on Sandhawk across the EMEA tournament. The 3 Sandhawks they played, first, second, and on Sandhawk. If they get a good start here, that could get the ball rolling for them very quickly, because we're playing Sandhawk first.
Can we get our match rankings up really quick on the second page, just real fast here, just to go off the back of what he was saying about Team Spirit doing so well on Sandhawk.
Yeah, go on.
So I don't see them on the front page here, Max. Yeah, where are they?
They're not. Hey, where?
Hey!
16th position right there.
Where's that little Leonardo DiCaprio? Whoop, whoop,
Right there.
That was, you know what, alright, sometimes failures occurring. It's most of the time Max's fault, but this time around, I guess I have to take the brunt of it.
No, to be completely honest, right, you would look at a team as experienced as Team Spirit and Falcons. you wouldn't expect it to happen, right? Like, you're really angry.
I'm mad. The best part was Max quickly jumped on ship on that one because he knows how much we rib on him, and he's like, oh, they're finally not doing it to me. I'm ready. I'll get it else. All right, well, it's time to kick off for second match of the day. So let's go back over to John on and Hot Drinks to get us into Erangel.
I'm pretty sure gravity departed because the sanity certainly was not there for that desk either towards the end of it. They, rightly to be fair, criticising Team Spirit, maybe less right to criticise KLRS because I'm on his side, man. I feel like this is definitely a roster that is good at Sandhawk, just not when they're dead.
Scrooge McHale making some points.
That's right.
Some good points here. And that is correct, because I think that if you do go out first, it's not good.
It's difficult to make many points. Make many points? Get many points.
Or any points.
Yeah, have any points at all if you die. Generally, an adverse strategy when it comes to good results. But I tell you what's not an adverse strategy.
What's that?
It is getting yourself an Infinix GT Pro. With dual gaming chipsets and a 144Hz AMOLED screen, the GT20 Pro will equip teams with up to 120 FPS, which is also the first batch of supported devices, offering esports level performance and visually stunning experiences in the 2024 BMWC.
Well, let's get it going, guys. Our first Erangel of the day, of this survival stage. And we can already see the rankings, man. We got some teams soaking up some points up there. IWNRX taking full advantage of that circle they got. Team Falcons, even though they didn't get the zone, they just straight up dominated, getting 14 total points. And looking on down, 6th place, Twisted Minds, right? Out of the 4 new teams that hopped on in here, they ended up with the most points, 6 in total.
Plane path from the northeast side down towards the quarry. Difficult potentially to get to military from here.
Don't say it.
Sorry. Yeah, no, don't talk about the island. We've already seen twice.
Too many times.
Reality of that sort of a circle on the south shift. And in a survival stage, teams would be very, very reluctant to try and make their way down. It's a good chunk, but it's not, right?
Yeah.
It's not a military circle yet. Touch wood. There we go. Found some wood. But we are absolutely hoping that they don't have to make that shift south.
Yeah, they do not want to do that.
No,
we got a hot drop! Team Panda
on the outside.
The knives!
Team Spirit, what do you got? Are they going to be able to find anything? This is
no way! Not
Team Spirit! 2 games in a row! Team Spirit have fallen! What are you doing? You can't do this! This is BMWC!
The devastation!
Can we get a clip of Kale right now? What's his face doing?
Yes, I want to see Kale's face, because...
I think it's covered in tears of EMEA.
It's unreal. That is unreal. 2 hot drops off the rip, not able to find a weapon, and you go down like that. That's honestly unbelievably difficult to
That
bounce
is
back from.
unequivocally a bad play now for Team Spirit. No excuse for doing this twice in a row.
I don't know what they're going to do. I mean, maybe it could have been that plane path. They didn't have a solid secondary drop location, and they just got punished right there. So if you're even trying to make top 4, 2 bad games is pretty much max what you can afford. So they need to go crazy every single game after this. Otherwise, they're going home. Let's be honest.
It might have just been done and dusted off that. I mean, if nothing else, that's a huge morale buster of a start to the day, right? 2 matches where you're out of the game in 30 seconds. It's not cool, right?
It's not cool.
It's going to be a real rubbish feeling to be sat there in that Team Spirit booth thinking, what have we done? What have we just done? We are throwing this away.
Let's see what Twisted Minds can do. TJB making a party up over here by Crates. Nice support fire there from the other teammate. Guizal is trying to find a better angle here. He's actually going to be popping in through the back. That's a bold play. I'm so shocked he even did that. He should have found a way towards the squad. Now he's completely trapped, and he goes down.
Yeah, it's a GK first, able to hop out with backup as well. Twisted Minds not in the position to support it. I think they might go for a third party. You're right, that was a pretty solid nade. Pushed him back and into the sidelines of his teammates, playing off one another.
Well, their hands got to be shaking right now. The nerves at an all-time high. It looks like they're going to be trading one player for one. What is TJB going to do? Are they going to continue to go through this fight or rotate away? Honestly, sometimes you got to just cut your losses and leave.
Maybe just try and head on out of there. You want to get these reses.
They don't really have any loot at all, so they want... Yeah, I think TJB may have to commit here. They are so underlooted. They need every single thing they can get from Twisted Minds. But how are they going to get there? This is always a very difficult fight in crates because you have to make those crosses into the wide open. You don't really know where other enemies can be. And it could end up really, really bad for you. Flower's staying in the same position. He's not rotated at all. And every single second at this point is just devastating.
It's really going to eat into your point scoring potential every single moment that you keep presence in these crates. But
they got Overwatch now.
They do. They have managed to sort of finagle something out of this one. Here goes trying to shimmy around, and no res is really going to be available for TJB. Like, that's a super exposed position. You can't go up there. Federalis just running people over towards Pachinki. Okay, let's go for it.
We'll take that. Yeah, TJB's going to have to figure out what to do here because, yeah, when you're in that Overwatch position, if you get caught out, you're getting knocked. Like, you can only take shots when you're, like, 1,000% confident that you're going to get that initial knock. He may have eyes on Obscure. He saw him. Oh, and he missed the shots. Now they know exactly where he is. All eyes are going to be on him.
Gonna have plenty to deal with now. 3 players alive, 4 Twisted Minds. Same for TJB. Monsters having a rough time of it now. Longs is pretty much out the fight, so if Twisted Minds can establish and engage a ground fight, he's going to be so out of the way. Let's take a look at what is a disaster for Team Spirit. They don't even get in the door.
Oh, my goodness. And, yeah, I don't even see really any weapons on the side of Team Spirit. They were just trying to knife for their lives and just take it out in an instant.
That's actually upset me. I'm pretty I'm genuinely upset that this has happened.
Quite frazzled.
To Team Spirit. Yeah, I mean...
What could he say?
I genuinely don't. I don't even want to talk about it.
They've had their feet on the ground in this tournament for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, they owe me now.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. And the thing is like your morale's got to be at an all-time low to bounce back. You only have 10 matches remaining. Oof, it's gonna be a long road ahead. I mean, this next game, we need to see a double-digit elimination chicken dinner.
I mean, this is the thing, right? This roster genuinely is so capable of that.
It's true.
But but it's a question of can they dig themselves out of their own minds after that performance. Moneymakers moving in from Primorsk, trying to punch their way south of Quarry into the circle.
1v2
is going to start to pop off. Obscure around the side finds one
jump shot
around the edge, and the AKM tears through TJB, brings Twisted Minds up to the advantage, and it's just Longs. That's what I was saying. If they can establish and engage a ground fight, Longs isn't there.
TJB, man, just getting demolished right there. Obscure with that 1v2 was disgusting. What a huge play. They know where the final player is, and it's really up to Twisted Minds now. Do you stay? Do you get this confirmation? Or do you head towards the next zone? All Longs. That is a very angry play right there. Shooting out the tires, saying, you know what, how dare you? I'm going to make things a little bit more tough on you.
There's a little lead weight around the ankles right now for Twisted Minds.
Oh, Obscure's going to have an angle. Yep, he does.
Third-party potential for Inco as well.
Got him.
That is exactly what they were looking for. Obscure. Shot.
All four.
Have got the off angle as they move from George, potentially pulling short to find some Twisted Minds players, but that fight has concluded. Team's very, very central. This second circle is just about to pop.
Yeah, go south. Why not? Let's see it. Let's see it. Okay, never mind. Yeah, it goes right dead center. It's going to be school still available, so honestly, it's a very good zone shift for Twisted Mind and Inco. We'll see if that battle does ring out. It's going to be a tough one for both these teams. Now, one team in particular, Team Panda, they're all the way down south in the military base. They're going to have to hit a bridge here in the next few moments.
That Potato Hill on the east side of Pachinki, a major feature, as it always is on this sort of a circle. It's going to be interesting to see who's going to hold that terrain right now. Mad Bull's right on the north edge of it. You got Rook marauding around on the east side, potentially clashing with COG Osaka as well. There's a couple of other teams trying to push their way in. Besiktas getting close towards the top there. I think having some runs across the Pachinki fields as well to bring up the rear, as things start to get messy around the middle. Inco do finally find 1-2 from Twisted Minds, and they're looking for that flush as well. They will extract the value. Twisted Minds down to just one player alive.
One player alive, just like that. They did get some points on the board, though, so that's fortunate. But at the same time, it's going to hurt pretty bad. You could see Inco, they were waiting for this. They heard those shots ring out, and that's why teams really need to try to avoid any engagement early on. It's because, yeah, you get those 4 points, great, but it's very, very rare at this level of competition you leave unscathed, right? You either have a couple players go down in that fight, or you have a team completely gatekeep you. Now we're going to watch the two top squads so far in the lobby, IWNRX and Team Falcons, start to poke some shots at each other.
This is where I think IWNRX are going to have to prove themselves a little bit more. They're on that south side of the circle in general. They're not given a center circle position. Their sweeping needs to be strong now. That's kind of how they finished out the last game, and what they're going to need to do this game sort of going to echo that. Obviously, it's only circle 2. They don't have to move yet. They'll be able to bide their time for just a moment longer, but fighting off against Falcons, that's another way to prove yourself.
Team Falcons action is, oh yes he did, and now look at that. This is what happens though, right? You got that beautiful 1v4 from Obscure, and then Inco just sat there waiting for the easy eliminations and easy loot as well.
Now it's just Ratto, one of my favorite names in the tournament, going to be remaining for Twisted Minds. Over in Pachinki, circle out to the east side of things, again over towards Potato Hill. Looking at Mad Bulls right now, thinking how much of that can they hold on to on their fairly wide split as it stands.
Team Falcons starting to pop some shots onto IWNRX. They're going to go ahead and leave for a more central position here. These buildings are not too bad. You definitely pop some shots at vehicles heading towards you, but if you do get crashed on, it can be quite difficult to hold. So let's see if that ends up paying off for them. Very, very southern position. They're actually going to have to move north because that is actually that zone, that complex is outside of the circle. Looking further in though, yeah, Mad Bulls are at a really, really good spot here. D plus Kia are not at a bad one as well. And meanwhile, you got Moneymakers and Team Falcons starting to get mighty close to each other.
Yeah, the Moneymakers rolled up to the Falcons' position. They did turn around with their initial 2, but now they've regrouped and they're playing as 4. Falcons a little bit more split right now, but no one's really in contact at this stage. Action, trying to drop those smokes, give themselves cover. Old Boy repositioning on an off angle. 3-1 attempt at this play. Got him! But Old Boy goes down. This is an age-old problem for Old Boy. He goes off on some wild angle and just doesn't get any value, goes down, gets flushed, and they aren't going to reap any rewards for it. In fact, it's only going to slow them down. It's only going to mean that they just have to disengage, and Falcons don't want to let that happen. They're going to continue to take these shots. Havlik has to hop in and hop away.
They should. They know it's a 4v3 situation, and we're going to see some pop shots out the vehicle, out the buggy. Not able to get it done, though. So Moneymakers run away. But are they going to be able to run away for long? Because Team Falcons know they're in a 4v3 situation. They want more eliminations. They only have 1 so far. But, oh, look at that. A tire gets popped.
And a second.
Hits it into reverse. Tries to jump into his teammate's vehicle. Not able to do so. He's wide out in the open. Hits the lay down.
Ooh.
No way he survives this.
Oh,
okay.
In the second time, Top still looking for the spray. He's up, he's down. And finally, Icy's knocked. And that will be a flush. Moneymakers down to 2 players. I'm surprised the Falcons let it get that far.
Let's see what they decide to do down. Maybe they should start prioritizing zone at this point, though. Meanwhile, yeah, Moneymakers are going to go ahead and into that blue zone, just try to make the ultra-safe rotation with the last remaining 2 players. But a good start for the Falcons once again. Couple eliminations, every single player up. This is what I was talking about, though, right? That extra aggression on these teams that are so nervous is just paying off big time.
It is striking fear in the hearts of the opponents right now. Circle just about to close. Look at Brute Force on the north side. Currently, kind of enveloping around Inko on that northeast edge, trying to play through. Chudo on the inside against 3, bearing down upon him. Beautiful play. But there's no way you can hold off against the open door, against that back as well. And Chudo goes down for Brute Force, which will leave them a little bit wanting, but they are now locked into that garage. So maybe a little bit of a trap set over towards Inko. They're pulled on in. They think, oh, we've got a point. And now we're going down because Brute Force established the crossfire.
I don't know if that was a set play. It looked like they just had one of their players out of position in a bad split. But Brute Force does have a chance here to get their revenge. The blue zone is starting to punish them. This is stage 4. It's actually going to be chunking quite a bit. So yeah, Inko did commit everybody on that outside player. But now Brute Force are in a great position to gatekeep them.
Besiktas trying to move up towards DRX. This is a solo player for DRX, by the way, playing all the way down the bottom. He's still got teammates alive, but they're not quite near enough. 2 knocks sent back over. Wow! And a third as well. That is huge. D plus Kia chiming on into the fight, and they're looking for everybody on this hillside. Moneymakers, DRX, Besiktas, who have already gone down. Finally, Osal falls, but that should be Reservoir, and they can continue their push on in from the southwest.
Great plays for DRX here. Solo plays, at least. Not really working as a team, but getting it done by themselves. This Nate should do it. Yep, and that'll do it. Moneymakers out of there. So, and that's 3 eliminations that DRX desperately needed.
Definitely want to try and convert off that first match. 8 points, not massive, but very important. That's enough to put you up in 4th place right now as it stands. So 3 points, adding onto the tally, a great conversion, even if they can't get too much further. But on the southwest side, they're looking okay. They've got D plus Kia and Rook kind of in the wings right now, but I'm looking at Harami, bro, and looking at this roll-up. Falcons need another hold.
Let's see if they can hold it down here. Range got some really good angles here, but Team Falcons return. Now here comes Top with that DBS pre-firing through the smoke, and they are connecting. Harami Bros in big trouble, and they're out of trouble because they're gone just like that.
There's no way you can beat trouble when you're eliminated. Falcons will be able to hold their high. They are just going to be lost a player to their Inko scrap in the garage. They are going to be able to hold a lot of this north side actually under their control. Rook, they've been trying to move up this hill for a while. DRX sit in the way.
Let's see what Rook's going to do. Rook is one of those teams that is new to this lobby, and they definitely are feeling the nerves, but they got to start getting aggressive. They have to. And you can see them starting to press up on a DRX. They got to get this fight done sooner than later. They got to recognize that, you know what, they have the numbers. They're all close together. Might as well try to take this fight. Oh, but some great shots there from Sai. up top. That's actually from multiple different angles. Now we see Rook starting to press the pressure onto DRX. Is he going to get that knock? No, barely misses.
Not quite able to connect for
Where's the rest of the team, though?
They are quite split around this fight, and they're not really trying to capitalize on this just yet. Finally, Inco goes down. The little bro of Brazil, again, not going to have a great result on the match. Hang on a minute, Mad Bulls, Falcons, over on the western edge. It looks like they will finally clash. The Mad Bulls turn around and head back into the fight. One player of Falcons now down and out will be flushed. Another knock over on this western edge against the Falcons. The Mad Bulls are starting to turn things around for them. DRX as well, in the way of Rook, starting to find an opening. It's just top now remaining. This guy, MVP material, rolls on down. Is he going to be able to survive? I mean, that's a kind of wild push, and it's not going to work out. They still get 7 eliminations, but go down earlier than we expected.
But 7 eliminations is enough. That's good, solid points regardless. It's all about that consistency if you want to make it into top 4. We're seeing some inconsistent teams get taken out really early here. Rook has a lot of angles. Meanwhile, Twisted Minds, the final player, ready to take it out. That's Rato Boy gone. Mad Bulls now finally starting to make some noise.
Yeah, with 4 eliminations this match and all 4 players alive playing from the west, they have got an interesting approach to this circle. Right now, Pandem are split across the strongest part of high ground, with Rook trying to push in on the western side, IWNRX on the east. It's going to be a tall order to hold it, though.
Let's see if they're going to be able to hold it down. Rook starting to make some noise here. Get a nice elimination there onto D plus Kia. I believe it is just Chips. Last one up for them. And now, oh, look at that. Beautiful shots onto the Mad Bulls. Is he going to get the confirm? No, barely misses it. If you're a Team Spirit fan, though, you're pretty excited right now because 2nd through 5th place are already out. But you got to watch out for IWNRX. They're looking to soak up some points.
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I was wondering where you were going with that for Team Spirit because, I mean, sure, you take the silver linings where you can, right? So some of the teams higher up going down early, sure, it's good, but it really kind of pales in comparison to what you need to get done. Brute Force trying to move their way forwards. Freezer is down, will get flushed away. IWNRX pick up that point. That goes over towards, I think Zedwolf was able to get the flush, but the point is frozen. On this eastern side, they are in the zone, and they can start to look to move along this ridgeline that Pandem currently hold the center of that looks downhill towards the COG Osaka compound.
Yeah, I think IWNRX needs to get extra aggressive at this point. They have a massive opportunity in front of them. They have the ability to put massive points on the board and create a large gap ahead of them. If they start creating a big gap today, tomorrow they can have fun with this lobby. They can decide which teams make it and which don't. They'll have so much power available in their hands, so they need to take advantage of it here and now. Next zone does pop. CAG Osaka are going to be in a good position here, but now you can see the Mad Bulls completely spread out, starting to get punished here by Rook.
Rook are doing bits right now over on the western side, but again, they're going to have to move forwards. It is 3 players now alive, with Zerich going down for the Mad Bulls, but Rook are taking damage, and that is Pandem. This is the strong high ground I was talking about. They are looking out to that west. It's a little bit higher ground over there, but there's this saddle that sits in the middle, and you need to push past it. That's what Rook are going to look to do now. Pandem need to hold, but they've lost Pond on that outpost. Down the hill they go, and they're exposing themselves to some pretty disastrous angles here. They're trying to player falling, and it looks like they might just find some more hold on that western edge.
Yeah, I think Team Rook is doing too much here. They're focusing on too many separate fights. They need to just group up together, focus on one team at a time. Right now, your eyes have to be on Mad Bulls. You want to be able to secure this location and then move up little by little after that. Let's see what they end up deciding to do. It looks like they did finally group up, and they could look to pass up the Mad Bulls. That's a very, very risky play, and might just take it to CAG Osaka. Nope, instead they do send it on the Mad Bulls, and they are on the run.
They're going to get that flush. They're going to turn around, make sure they secure the point. A 9th elimination on the cards for Rook. They are on the war path, and all 4 of their players are alive, pushing into the circle. Still not easy, but with Pandem on 3, it's a little bit easier. CAG Osaka flexing out now and actually rotating south to put pressure on.
Yes, they are. CAG Osaka have been pretty quiet, though. Only 1 elimination so far. Well, let's see what they do. Actually, no, I'm sorry. No eliminations just yet. So they have not been able to pull 1. And they really need to start doing it because they did have a so-so game number 1. They want to be able to put themselves in a position for top 4 because that is the goal, folks. 4 slots remaining for the finals.
pushing in from that north side. They were trying to third party on the west edge, and they have now folded back towards their compound. Getting across the open ground that sits ahead of them is not going to be easy once these fights on the south conclude. CAG Osaka, they need to find something, and that's what they were looking for, to try and sweep that west edge so that they can then foothold and springboard into this circle, right? Because right now, once there is an established presence on the hill to their south, there's like no way you get out of that compound.
That's right. Let's see what they decide to do here, because they had that compound and it's been so safe. They got pretty circle blessed, and eventually they do need to leave it. But this is a tough point when you're in the survival stage. Sometimes you err on the side of safety, right? You're like, okay, we have coverage. Let's just hold it here for longer. But at a certain point, you got to realize we got the numbers.
Yeah.
Let's get to the edge and start taking some of these fights, because we're seeing teams really soak up eliminations. One of them being Rook 9 so far.
IWNRX not being super loud on this eastern side, but they're going to have to push in a little bit closer. The next circle's just about to pop. They're finding knocks, they're finding openings. They're staying as a ball right now, and they need to get rolling. Rook further uphill, but they are again with their backs to the zone. A nade over towards the remaining duo for Brute Force. Just to keep things spicy. Set Wolf with the Mini 14, trying to land the shot. It's not quite there, but Kane has the angle to pick up another point.
CAG Osaka get blessed with the circle.
Wow.
They are dead center. They have so much real estate. But when are they going to start getting angry? When are they going to stand up and start taking some shots? That's going to be the big question. They end up smoking themselves out. That's a really bad decision right there, because it eliminates their sight lines and allows teams to push up onto them. But the IWNRX, they're going to be pushing most likely under brute force here in the next few moments. It's going to be absolute chaos in the next 10 seconds.
CAG Osaka, I think they smoked up to get the res on one of their players who was on the forward position. But it will remove a little bit of wind from their sails. However, they now should be dissipating fairly soon. Rook mounting up.
They're playing it so passive. They're just laying down right now, and that's going to allow teams to make some moves. Nice shots there from IWNRX. Frozen, gonna try to get a nade, most likely onto brute force. He has 3 of them. Never mind, here comes the drive up.
Oh no, 1, 2.
Great shots from brute force, shutting them down.
That is so nasty. You try and roll down, you knew there was players there. It's just a Hail Mary last-ditch attempt, and IWNRX go down with 1 elim in 6th place. That is not good for them on the southeast side. They couldn't get past Brute Force. Brute Force now has suffered a knock, and Team Pandem trying to move over the hillside. This is the team that's been on this wide spread for a long time, keeping Rook out to that west, but it looks like Rook might finally have gotten ahead of the curve. If they can use these smokes to keep Pandem out, they might have secured themselves the game.
Let's see what happens, though, because Team Pandem do have some really nice angles here. Are they able to get it? They do. That nice nade. That is for CAG Osaka. Now they're starting to make some noise here. They have all the real estate in the world. They got to start getting extra aggressive. Don't let Rook push up on you for free.
You cannot let this one happen. CAG Osaka,
good nade.
Ordnance coming. Get a knock, get a flush, get more points as well. That's what you need to add to your tallies. 1 knock sent to their backlines. That's going to be a bit of a rescue mission if they want to keep this one in. I wouldn't be too surprised to see a player go for it, though, because they slowed down all of the teams around them.
CAG Osaka, look, we're starting to see that confidence from them. We're starting to see them realize, hey, this is our game to win. Let's make it happen here with as many eliminations as possible. Because every second you wait, those numbers just get dwindled more and more. Nice nade there. Only 1 player up left, and that is Slunk there. Is he going to be able to get that res? That nade, does he get the bounce? Oh, that one hurt.
Takes a little bit of damage. There's a shot.
AWM.
Where's he pulled that from? That's naughty. Gonna be looking for the shots as well.
Toes.
Oh, I don't think he just quite noticed the toes there, unfortunately. But you step out, your block is going off. I tell you that much.
Let me see a quick snipe. Let's see it.
Go on.
Let's see it.
You know you want to.
Slonk, better be careful. Don't peek. Don't you even move a muscle. Just go out to blue zone. You look out, you are gone.
I'm surprised that there's not an aid coming through from Panda.
Yep. He's just eating some blue zone. He knows what time it is. He denies the points to CAG Osaka. 2 knocks onto them. Was that brute force? It was. Pre-pod started to make some noise.
That is huge pickup for Brute Force. On the eastern side, they now have an excellent crossfire to push across this open slope to play against COG Osaka. That's completely changed the cadence of this circle. With Neos going down, though, it is all up to Prepod. He can't push down this hill. He cannot get this res. With the AWM in hand as well. He's challenging it? You kidding? He's going to have heard that one. That should back him off.
Let's see what happens. Pandem, sneaky. Starting to snake their way on in. Let's see if they already get sidelines. Oh, Apollo actually gets beat up quite a bit there. I'm not sure if he wants to peek that one again. But now they know where he is, so let's see if this nade is able to connect. I think this is his last one. Yep, that was the last nade he had. And it is gone, not able to connect. It is anyone's game here. Team Panda, been so quiet, just picking up every elimination they can.
Neo's making that death crawl right now, trying to get back to Prepod to get the res.
This is the 9th circle, folks. It's about to go to nothing, and that is that player from Brute Force gone. Only one remaining player, and it's the IGL. Prepod, what can you do?
I mean, he already had that impact, taking half of CAG Osaka down.
He sees him.
He's going to step up. Looks for the spray. That's one. Going down, will look for the flush, but he's dropping out wide and into the sidelines of CAG Osaka. A 1 versus 2. I don't think it's there. The orb isn't even necessary, as that's going to go through to Apollo with the DBS. Hang on a minute. Who's got the sniper? Someone check him. It's going to be Pandem now in a 1 versus 2. It's Naoto. It's going to try and hold it down. They have the inside track, and the nade is enough. Apollo burns bright. And CAG Osaka hold it down. It got dicey there with half of their players going out, but they keep it under control. Cool, calm, collected from the North Compound.
Ooh, that was way too close for comfort right there. But you know what? They got it done, and they got some great eliminations as well. That should rocket launch them up the leaderboards. Very fortunate for the rest of the lobby that IWNRX went out relatively early, even though they had a good position. The rest of the top half of the leaderboards went out as well. So now we're going to see some shakeups here pretty early.
Yeah, Falcons were able to get 7 eliminations that match. Even though we haven't seen them for ages, they did just get some scraps on board. But they're now about level with where IWNRX were, given that IWNRX didn't get too many points on that match. So it's going to be an interesting, very close top of the tables.
See the snipe right here. Bah! Right underneath the vehicle. You love to see that AWN. I want to see some more snipes, baby.
I'm sniping here.
Come on. As we look at Prepod, that was a really good play from him, and one that Brute Force desperately needed.
Definitely. It is going to be good news. I mean, Brute Force did bits, right? They managed to get up into 3rd place. I think it was 5 or 6 eliminations towards the end. COG Osaka putting a respectable score on the board. Pandem, they held their nerve on the south side. I wasn't expecting them to be able to keep Ruka at bay, but they were able to do it. And I'm pretty happy with that.
I'm pretty happy as well. You know, as a matter of fact, I talked to Prepod at breakfast this morning, and I was like, dude, survival stage, come on. He's like, we just lack confidence. That was it. It was all about the confidence. But after a game like that, hopefully they finally gained it. And they're going to need it here because there's not a lot of games left in this one.
No, absolutely not. There is an ever-dwindling number of matches remaining. It is so exciting. Can Team Spirit stay alive for a minute or more? That's what will be answered after the break.
لحظات البداية عاشت معنا. كنا نحسبها وقت للتسلية بس. نحسبها بس ذكريات.
عبود أعطي أختك اليد يا ولد.
ابتكرنا فيها ابتكارات، وإذا بغينا قلبناها خرافات. كنا نحسبها بس لمة وصحبة وسهرات.
انتبه نوم ترى نوم.
لكن كنا نشوف عالم ما حد يشوفه.
تعيش الوقت بشيء يفيده.
الله عليك على الصوت.
عالم كبر وعاش فينا. عالم الحماس فيه يوصلك كل مرة لحلم أصعب، بس ما يصعب عليك. بارت معك وين ما تروح.
seeming to be a day of changes here, as we do have some teams who massively underperformed when it came
to the full extent that they could have done.
And actually, talking about some of the plays that were happening there with IW and RX, I want to take the conversation over to Pandem. How the hell did they survive that long? They were surrounded by Mad Balls. There was Rook, there was IW and RX, there was also CAG, I think, taking some shots from the compound down below. And they just lose a single player? Like, sorry, they need to get punished in those scenarios.
He's been saving this up. He's so keen. Listen to him. But I agree with you, right? Like, the split that they had, obviously on two sides, doing the drive scouting is very important to know exactly what's going on. But their split should have been punished by some of those teams. Be it IWNRX moving west, or the teams finally fixing every fight that's going down on the west, even, I should say, and then moving east themselves. But no, Pandem got away with a lot, man. A lot.
Well, one team that I wanted to bring up here that I know Seven, while we were watching, was talking about Rook. Honestly, Max, we got to cover them when it came to PMSL CSA because we got to do the watch party on it. I don't really expect much out of them in this event. However, they put up 11 eliminations here so far in this match, and not easy to do considering, again, the caliber of teams you have. But I don't know if that was a fluke or if this is what the kind of Rook we're going to see in this day.
I would say, I mean, covering CSA right in the watch party, Rook were a very passive team, right? I feel like they understood we need to take like an extra kind of measure of precaution if you want to do well in this lobby, which is we see a team, we're just going to shoot at them, get the points. Stop doing that. And I feel like they've changed their mentality from CSA going into PMWI because passive playstyle is not going to make you qualify in the top 4 for the main tournament. So we know that they have some really good sprays. I think Keeper Boss is a player that we mentioned multiple times that can perform really well at that kind of mid to long range sprays.
Yeah.
But now they play more aggressive, which is the perfect change for the stage. And I'm really stoked to see that.
I mean, you've got Vic on the team, you got Yankee on the team. You did see a couple of clutches out of those individual players back in CSA. But in the back of my head, it's like, Jason, this lobby is so much more difficult, even though you have teams like IHC, 4MV, Falcons in your region.
Spirit, oh no, actually, no, sorry.
I mean, for Rook, they squeaked by in the end of the CSA tournament. Not Ratto Boy, shut. You're upset. Where was I even? Rook, I mean, they squeaked by in the region that you were covering for a watch party, right? It took the last game, similar to Alola AHC, to being able to. They squeaked by. This is ridiculous.
This is Seven. What are you doing here?
Oh, yeah.
No, squeaked by, but obviously we've seen a couple teams do that. Team Spirit, I want to not be too harsh on them, but I know we did say all of us that
be harsh.
You weren't here for this. That Brute Force, in our eyes, is not the best team from EA necessarily, but they're looking better than Team Spirit so far.
Let's be real. These last two games, absolute catastrophe. Absolute catastrophe. I was hoping that they would start the ball rolling fast and maybe try and get something done. But losing 2 games like this, it's not only a bit of a crushing blow to what I would say is morale, it's also the fact that when you go out early in a game, especially 2 games in a row, you have to sit there for 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes before you even get into the next game. That period of time where you're just cold, everybody's still warm, going through the games, going through the motions, is also yet another burden you have to take into the next games. Something wild has to happen going into the next ones.
Yeah, I'm sure they've been playing more TDM than the actual games of this tournament, right? So I don't know what's going on, because when you're dropping for that singular building too, you know players are dropping around you. You can instantly change, go to yellows if you want, southern side of Pachinki. It's not great, but you're not fighting with a singular gun for 1 car. That's just egregious. Yeah.
All right, well, we are getting things ready to go for our next match. I'm hearing we do have an interview with Barney down on the stage, so let's go check it out.
Welcome back to the main stage where we are joined by Kane from Istanbul Wildcats next, Ruya. Thank you for joining us on stage. Just a quick first question. Let's cast your mind back to the group stage. It was difficult. You guys didn't really find your feet. What went wrong?
Grup aşamalarında, grup karşılaşmalarında her şey tam istediğiniz gibi gitmemiş olabilir. Ne ters gitti? Sorun neydi?
Ya sorunlar, uçak çok kötü geçiyordu. Mainlerimize tam atlayamıyorduk. Prime spotlarımızı alamıyorduk. O bayağı sıkıntı oldu. Şu an prime spotlarımızı alabiliyoruz rahatça. Rahatça alabildiğimiz sürece istediğimiz oyunu ortaya koyacağız.
Usually it wasn't possible for us to get our main spots that easily. Now it's possible. That's why it's getting much better.
Okay, so that's the reason. That was my next question. Survival stage kicked off really well. You've managed to secure the first winner chicken dinner. Is that kind of what you're going to continue to do, or what are you working on right now?
Tam da onu soracaktım ben. Bu grup karşılaşmalarında, o aşamalarda bunların ters gittiğini anlayınca neyi değiştirmeye karar verdiniz? Chicken dinner'da aldınız. Bir sonraki aşamada yapmak istediğiniz şey ne ve neyi değiştirirsiniz?
Aslında çalıştığımız şey de eğer prime spotlarımızı alamazsak nasıl oynayabileceğiz, nasıl oyunumuza devam ettireceğiz. Daha çok bunların üzerine çalıştık. Bu hatalarımızı kapatmaya çalıştık. Biraz olsun da kapattığımızı düşünüyorum. Bence bu grup aşaması bizim için iyi geçecek. Öyle.
So we usually decided thinking and focusing on more on what to do to cover up the loss that we may ever have in the group stages, like we did in the group stages. So, and I believe that we will just capture the same momentum and it will be much better.
Okay, finally, I have to ask you, Kane, what happened in map 2, man? On Erangel, what happened? What was that push? Who called it? What went wrong?
Sormam lazım bu soruyu. Erangel'de ne oldu? Hani kimin fikriydi? Niye girdiniz oraya? Nasıl oldu o olanlar?
Ya aslında biraz sıkışmıştık. Sağ altımızı vurursak win hamlesi olduğunu biliyorduk. Gittik vuramadık. NT. Eğer vursaydık win alırdık yani. Yapacak bir şey yok. NT diyelim geçelim.
Actually, we knew that it's going to be a big hit home red, and I would say it would have been an NT, but it didn't work like that. But still, I would say NT at the end.
Well, you know what? You miss 100% of the chances you don't take. So I'm glad you guys are actually taking those chances. Best of luck with the rest of day 1 of the survival stage. But for now, we're going to head back to the studio to continue day 1.
We have got more matches yet to come. That is right. We are going to once again see how long Team Spirit can survive.
Let's go!
I'm going to keep talking smack about them until they do something good.
Let's see if they can hit a record here in this game.
A record?
I want to see a record.
Phase 2?
Phase 2?
You kidding?
That would be a double of what they've done so far. Actually, probably more than double.
That's so true.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch. I can't believe it. I really can't. But you know what? They're going into the second Erangel match, and don't fix what's not broken. You know what I'm saying? Just go to the same place. Go. You know what I'm saying? It's all about consistency, but maybe they don't understand that, you know what? Consistent points is what they need.
That is true. They are being consistent. But let's take a look if they can increase that points floor. They are going to be looking to do so, of course, with the Infinix GT20 Pros. With dual gaming chipsets and 144Hz AMOLED screens, the GT20 Pro will equip teams with up to 120 FPS, which is also the first batch of supported devices, offering esports level performance and visually stunning experiences in the 2024 PMWC. The plane path is here for our second of 3 Erangels, and we are going to be going from Mill to Power over to George Pole.
Alrighty, well, I'm looking at this plane right now. I'm seeing where's Team Spirit gonna take off from, because they need a monster game right here and now, because you can't hope that the top teams are gonna do bad once again, because at this point we're already starting to see a little disparity at the top, and there's only been 2 matches so far, and that lead is only gonna get increased as time goes on. So I'm looking at the plane. I don't see them out just yet.
Yeah, they are on the south, Team Spirit.
Oh, there they are, yep.
Are they going again? Are they going for the repeat? I feel like they're a little bit split away right now. Okay, breathe a second. Team Spirit haven't hot dropped. Oh my god. Oh, okay, that's good.
We're starting off strong. Mixing things up here. Third time is the charm, and you know, at the same time, they're so cold going into this match. You know, so cold. They're gonna have to make something happen here. The zone does go on up, and it's gonna be a tough one.
It's pretty tricky. Keeps that central river in play.
That's right.
Keeps a lot of decisions still to be made, because it splits the circle almost directly in half, right? You've got all of that water that you need to cross, and I mean, sure, you can go all the way around to the east, but if you have to make that call early, which side do you go for? Right now, technically, I think it's a fairly even split when you include the water that's all the way on the north side. The probability of ending up either north or south of this river, I mean, maybe I'd still give it just to the north.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem is when you have a zone like this, that river going right in between it, you have to kind of take a gamble, right? Do we go to the north side or the south side? And if that zone shifts away from you, you're in big trouble. I mean, we don't see teams make it very often when they get a hard shift like that. So Cube is a really, really good place to be, right there at the edge of that river. Besiktas Black are holding it right now, so it looks like that's a place they want to hold on to. But you got teams like Team Falcons all the way down in Novo. They're going to have to make a big trip up north.
Yeah, they've got a long way to go. Pandem actually did go to the north side of Military Island as well, so they're going to have to make a similarly long trek, but they've already grabbed their vehicles. Novo getting looted up, as you said, by Falcons, so an easy time for now. The question is, will there be conflict on the bridge? We'll have to wait and see. IWNRX splitting around the ferry pier area. They're going to be fairly looted up. They're going to be quite happy with proceedings. They've got that West Coast road that they can go along. But what's interesting is that west side is actually kind of occupied right now by moneymakers. That West Coast split, I mean, this is something that Calaris has been banging on about for years, right? Rightly so. Getting split loot on that West Coast side is really effective. There's a lot of loot there. You can have a great game from that position.
Yeah, and it's very fortunate that the zone goes in their direction too, so they can just head up north, even probably take that Georgia Pole Bridge up north. So many different ways to head on into this one. Meanwhile, we saw Inco Gaming there on the feed. They were up near Kameshki, so they're going to be split looting Stalber, all that north side. We'll see them push on in. Brute Force are big chilling in Severny right now, so nothing really too crazy. And honestly, it's about time because we've seen like hot drops, teams getting shredded off the rip so far every game. And now this looks like a normal Aaron Gale.
We saw 3 hot drops in 2 matches, right? Like
that's right.
That's kind of wild when you consider the stakes here at PMWC, right? Getting to those top 4 spots, you need every game to count. You can't take the high variation plays as much as you can do in long-form tournaments like those PMSL group stages. Obviously, in those stages, you're playing like 70 matches, right? Like, you've got a long time to make those up.
Guess what, though, John?
You've just, something has occurred to you, your brain is firing on all cylinders, and I want to know what's going on.
Team Spirit has broken the record, baby.
Let's go.
That's right. The longest they have been alive in this tournament is right here and right now. So they are setting the tone, John.
That is what makes Kitsune such a fantastic IGL. He's told his team, you know what? Let's not die.
That's right. A bold decision. And you know what? It's always good to see the team listen to the IGL, John.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, because every now and then you got some players that are like, no, I'm going to do my own thing. I'm going to go out early once again, you know? But instead, they say, you know, let's stay up. Let's play the game. Let's play the game for once.
As we all know, if you go down, it's always the IGL's fault.
That's correct.
It's never mine. Unless I'm IGLing, in which case I had bad teammates. I don't know what to do, man. Like, they can't. It's just impossible to play with this team, you know?
That is correct. And right now, Team Falcons are still looting in Novo, right? You can see them right here. They're going to be going to this really late. So they're opting for heavy loot and playing that edge style. And honestly, it's been working for them because they've been playing on the edge and have just been dominating these squads. Now, I would say this strategy that Team Falcons are doing right now, it's not so effective come finals time, right? Because every team is a monster squad. You do not want to go and just fight through the edge because it's very, very difficult to go through that unscathed. But, you know, here in the survival stage, yeah, these teams are all excellent, but you got nerves coming into play. You know, you have teams that have their back against the wall, and if you're a squad like Team Falcons, you're going to have that slight advantage, and they're totally utilizing it right now. That's why we see them in 3rd place.
Still, on 3 matches, you want to be pushing up to 30 points if you want a chance at those top spots. IWNRX, CG Osaka, both within 5-point striking distance, a fairly, well, not trivial, but certainly achievable task for both of these 2 rosters. If CG Osaka going to hold on the south of Severny, they're doing pretty well right now for position. IWNRX a little bit further away right now on the south edge. Falcons, you said they might not want to be sweeping through in the finals, but right now they have a long sweep to go from Novo, still on that military island. Still playing neighbours with Pandem, who are currently in that military base itself. Mad Balls might be crashing into Rook. Oh dear, Kipper Boss with the spray down doesn't get a knock though, and that is disastrous. That means that English can lead the charge. They're going to play up, and look at this ridgeline. Immediately getting a crest.
Beautiful.
No idea. There is an answer though, back from the Mad Balls. They cut one, they cut two, and Rook now looking to try and get a flush. It's not going to be there. They're taking everybody else out. They use Kipper Boss's aggression as bait, and they take the rest of Rook and send them straight to the back pocket. The points tally adds up.
Man, it looked like Rook was going to get there in time to be able to support their squad mate, but just a little bit too late. Mad Bulls, that's actually a nice one. Gets the confirmation, almost gets the confirmation. Kill Boss, gonna have to figure something out though, because yeah, Mad Bulls are gonna make it for this res. He peeks that door, he's gone. He has to know it. Yep.
Yeah,
he went for it.
They're in the perfect position immediately with the high ground, with the position around the buggy. You're just not getting it. There was information being fed back over to him by Solnik, his teammate, who was downed across the way. He said, they're going for the res, they're sticking it. And there really is only one thing you can do, because if that res goes through, you're facing 4 Mad Balls and you're going down, right? There's basically just no two ways about it. So going for that peak, trying to get the player looking for the res, it's kind of the only thing you can do to salvage a point or two.
I do agree, yeah, because he knew he was going down no matter what. Hit a 1v3 like that isn't going to happen. So, yeah, try to be able to steal away at least one elimination. Unfortunately, he wasn't. But right now, my eyes are going to be on that 11th place on down, John.
Okay.
Because it really is do or die. After this, never mind about what I'm about to say. This southern shift makes things interesting and a super fortunate shift for Team Falcons.
Absolutely a lifeline being thrown to them. Well, they don't even need it, right? They're at the top of the tables. Come on now. Let's be fair. Down on the south side, IWNRX also pretty happy about this. COG Osaka on the other side, a little bit miserable.
Yeah, I mean, all these teams are feeling pretty miserable right now after that shift, except for the ones that you've mentioned. But again, I'm going to be looking at those leaderboards as we see Twisted Minds popping some shots off at Mad Bulls, because you got to remember, John, after this game, a quarter of the survival stage is done for.
That's pretty quick. I mean, we've only just started, right?
That's right.
Sure. Someone check the calendar on that one, but absolutely, it is just going, and there is no relent from the pace of this one. Every time you put up a good result, it is just that small amount of weight lifted off your shoulders.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be there. The pressure is so high right now.
Well, and it's even higher because I think if these teams, IGLs, have any understanding of this game, they're going to realize that they cannot wait until the last day, the last few games to make something happen as we look at this replay happen, because during the last day, there's going to be so many squads that know that they're done for. They're going to go home, and that has such an impact on their mental. So sometimes they just push willy-nilly. They just kind of go out of crazy, and that makes the last game so difficult to get points. So if you're a squad that wants to make it in the top 4, you really have to do it today, in my opinion.
Teams starting to get closer together, shoulder to shoulder. Only Rook down so far. Besiktas have lost a player. That went over towards IWNRX in their previous scrap, but nothing more than that. And as things start to get condensed with, let's say, 10-15% of the circle being cut off by the river on the north side, it's going to make it a little bit closer fought by these teams. The hills are starting to fill up. The areas around Pachinki as well are going to start to pack out. I'm not too sure how long it's going to take, but I think fairly soon those bullets are going to fly.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to the north at this point because they know this circle is going to go south, most likely. So, yeah, it does essentially cut this zone into, circle number 4 when it's still very, very early on. So teams need to try to prioritize finding those locations. We're only in stage 2, but because of that river cutting off most of this map, it really makes things more difficult. You can see it right there. It looks like Brute Force are going to go north. That is a really, really tough bet right there.
Still sort of milling about, though. I mean, they've got control of a crossing, so they wait for this shift and then commit. I mean, sure. And this is great now because they can flow down on that western side, move in towards ruins, because the high ground around that area still available. And if they've been scouting that with Chudo, they should know that they can make this rotation. The teams out to the east, they're going to have to fight off against one another. They can bide their time on the west for brute force and could have a pretty successful game here.
Well, it's going to be a party in Watertown, that's for sure. Yeah, you saw brute force trying to hedge their bets just in the off chance it did go north, but it did not. So it's going to be a party down near ruins. Pachinki, School, Edge of Roz is still going to be in play. You see Mad Bulls taking Rozhawk Hill right now. Inko are going to have to find their way in, and it's going to be a tough one because every spot in the middle of this circle is already taken.
CAG Osaka, they've moved down from the north side, but they have a team to worry about. Now, it's Team Spirit, who, frankly, at this stage, completely untested in these finals, right? Given that they've just been wiped out on hot drops, it's kind of not really indicative of what they're going to be bringing on a macro scale, right? They're just getting L's handed to them time and time again.
I was about to say,
not really able to do anything other than just try and win the gunfight when you're put in that situation.
I was about to say, they've been tested, they failed the first two matches.
Oh,
that's
for sure. Yeah, okay,
but you know what? Now they're in the game. They're in the game. Let's see what can happen. But Twisted Minds are starting to press IWNRX. IWNRX currently on top of the leaderboards. They need to win this fight here. They want to put a big gap on the rest of this lobby. Twisted Minds going down the beautiful shots there from Z-Wolf across the way, threading the needle through the window, and now giving them a big advantage.
A second knock as well on the south point of Sunken is not going to do wonders at all. It's going to be scrappy. It's going to be brutal. But IWNRX are not giving it their health bars. They're so healthy. Swain took, what's that, like a tickle of damage, like 20 damage there. It's going to be nice and tidy for IWNRX on that south point Sunken.
What a play. To be able to take that fight and finish it so quickly as well, because that was a dominant position. The chances of getting third party were so high, and they got it done. That is 5 eliminations already. IWNRX are trying to punch their ticket to the finals nice and early. Meanwhile, CAG Osaka, we saw them have a really awesome game in the last one. Let's see what they could do here on this rotation. Meanwhile, Inko, yeah, just trying to pop some shots, trying to find some room in this next circle.
This is a really difficult circle, right? Because slap bang in the middle of it, I mean, we can see the map feed right now, but slap bang in the middle of it, there is this donut hole, a dearth of just open ground that sits there. It is deadly to move into this open terrain. We call it headshot hills. You call it, people call it whatever they want to call it. I like to call it headshot hills, right? Because you poke your head up, you're losing it.
That's right.
Very quickly. It's just such open ground. You can play it later on, but with all of these teams that surround the ground, you're losing so much of the terrain, and that is another nasty shift up towards Rozhawk.
The zone going even further north. All these teams on the south got to get moving. I'm looking at you, Team Spirit. They're going to have to cross through the Falcons of all squads here. Things are about to get spicy, and there's very little real estate. We got a little glimpse of it right there, and you can see it's almost like a golf course down there. Very few angles that are available. A couple little dips, couple bowls. You can see CAG Osaka trying to prioritize one here, but they're going to have to defend it with their lives.
This is a pretty big challenge now. Inko trying to move up towards the Mad Bulls is going to be potentially a very pivotal location in this next circle. Mad Bulls could get pushed off from the west in the meantime and get third parties on this engagement, but Inko yet to fully commit to it. Vitali, though, is moving up into position with that buggy, moving on through. The nades getting cooked. They want to slow this down. A lot of damage done to Gary, and Inko keep pushing.
They have a little bit of time with this fight, but we could see some teams third party. Team Spirit could be coming around the edge any second now, so they do got to get this fight done sooner rather than later. But Mad Bulls just trying to open it up with utility. Every single one of these players is looking to get that initial critical knock, but Team Spirit is on the way.
They are making their merry way from the south edge. They're looking for an opening. They have fallen a little bit short. They're not going fully in for this one just yet. They are just going to bide their time, wait for that fight to pop off. IWNRX still scrapping. That's over with Besiktas. IWNRX, I believe, may have taken a knock there. No, Besiktas, sorry, are taking knocks over in Sunken as Inko do finally lose one of their players. Nanibete on the back lines.
Yeah, Mad Bulls are going to continue to hold this hill with everything they got, getting a nice knock there onto Gary, but they got to watch out that they don't get circumvented here. There is some spots that are still available on the other side of this hill, and look at this, Inko getting knocked But you see Team Spirit. Team Spirit is on the way.
2 points now for Team Spirit. They are off the starting line. They're playing with 2 matches less than everyone else, and they have the eastern side. They are looking for the contest. Inco got pushed away, swept aside on this one. TJB could potentially backfill onto this. They're a little way off right now near Roshok, but the same rotation available to them as was available to Team Spirit. So Team Spirit, are they going to make the same mistakes as Inco?
Let's see. Let's see. Effect's going up there, trying to get a little bit of sight lines. He does know that Mad Bulls is there. But it looks like they're just trying to hold this edge for now. And honestly, it's not a bad idea because this next zone could shift away from this fight, and they may have to prioritize another spot. So I think they're just trying to buy some time for now.
And there we go, TJB, they are just moving into the pack. Naomi gets spotted from the high ground. 2 players from Team Spirit down, and it is not looking good for them. TJB do exactly what was happened to Inco, to Team Spirit. Effect tries to get away. It's history repeating itself.
Yeah, Team Spirit just maybe took too much time in that spot. They have to make a commitment eventually, but that's what happens whenever you don't play the first 2 matches. You can easily make some mistakes. Let's see if they can try to make something happen, though, as Effect does have an angle, but it is going to be a close one. Oh, that nade looks too good. How does it not get the knock? How about that second one? Just a little bit off the mark. As we watch Old Boy going for the rest, gets it at the last second. Oh, never mind, they're running over.
Oh, Neo's over the top in the UAS, out of the blue zone. Old Boy with the spray, not connecting. A sweep around there for Neos, goes back with the smoke cover, hits the hop out, and Koa goes down. Neos going wild right now on the open terrain.
Brute Force trying to make everything they can happen right here, trying to keep their tournament hopes alive. 13 total points so far for them, and they're trying to wreck it up. But look at this, here comes CAG Osaka on the third party and wipes them out.
They're rolling it down, but there's still another team playing in the wings. Moneymakers putting themselves back together. You don't want to give them too much time here. Koa is down, but they're going to want to pick him back up as fast as possible. That comes through. CAG Osaka with a knock on the back line, going to have to turn their attention there if they want to stay as 4. And Moneymakers so tight together. The nade potential here is huge. It is getting cooked. Another one for the backline.
Looks good.
That looks good, but they're in the vehicle and they're getting away. They're trying to turn tail and run, and it's going to work out unless this spray connects. Looks for the front line, but isn't going to be there. They turn around, they stick the res, and now CAG Osaka let Moneymakers get away with it.
See ya! Moneymakers said we are out of this one. They get into another bowl, but now here comes Team Falcons on the press. 2 minutes are remaining here. This zone is starting to close. Oh, what a knock. Top goes down. That's going to hurt.
MVP himself is going to fall first.
Icy.
Second to go. And the rest of the Falcons not ready for the re-engage. The DRX are on the third party potential from the eastern side on this engagement, and they're going to surround all of this. Pandem trapped inside the house, but I don't think you want to step too close.
Ooh, don't, because they just got punished twice in a row. Now here comes CAG Osaka looking to finish off the Moneymakers. They get the run over, and I believe it's only 1 player up left. Yep, it is good old Icy Boss, and he's in a really tough spot.
He's a little bit further removed from the rest of the scraps, but he's got some terrain to play around. Getting over to it is going to be hard once that south fight concludes. There are sightlines over this direction, but for now, Icy Boss is a little bit safer. Meanwhile, over on the eastern side, you've got Harame Bro and D plus Kia going hell for leather into a scrap to find any sort of cover over there. Hold out for DRX potential, as it is just shotgun shells flying back and forth. A lot of damage being done. Nearly finding something miraculous there, but the 1v3 not going to happen.
Team Pandem are making it happen right now as we watch Team Falcons go out. 7 eliminations for them, so they have woken up. They were currently in 4th place prior to this match, looking to top the leaderboards. This is a great start for them, but IWNRX have 6 eliminations. CAG Osaka have 4, and even the Mad Bulls are starting to get into it with their last 2 players.
The Mad Bulls had a strong position for a long, long time. Remember, they were playing that Roshok Hill. They had, I think it was 3 teams try and push them from the same direction, though. So they just concentrated that cone of fire, and in doing so, they've managed to decimate so many of the teams near them. Unfortunately, TJB, that last wave, a little bit too much for those towers to defend.
Let's see what happens here. As you can see, Team Pandem starting to snake their way into this one, looking to get as many points as they possibly can. Honestly, with this zone, IWNX are looking so good, but CAG Osaka, Garnet, trying to soak up even more eliminations. That's Team Spirit gone.
is another bad.
Oh, it looks good.
Chalked up a beautiful nade placement there. Sees Pandem's demise come into effect. And this circle just again goes to Sunken. IWNRX gonna be helped out another time. Remember Sandhawk? It's happening again.
Ooh, and when it happens twice like this, you gotta be just putting your hands together looking like a fly. You know what I'm saying? Because they are ready to just take this beautiful meal that's right in front of them. There are so many players that are stuck out in the open. It's gonna be difficult to make it on in.
Look at old Jeff Goldblum and stuff like that.
Right.
That's an old school reference right there. But they are certainly going to be happy to play on this South Point Sunken, where they were able to hold out effectively. 4 players alive. They've got a lot to do, though. Besiktas behind them could be pretty tricky to dispatch if the circle shifts out to the west on this.
Look at this, Robbie Pro are wide in the open. There's only this little hill of coverage. They're gonna have to drive.
Right?
Yeah, you can see them. They got their vehicles ready. They didn't throw out any smokes at all. Actually, no, yeah, they did throw one, and now they are on the move. But CAG Osaka is gonna have a wide open shot at them, not able to take him out of a vehicle just yet. He goes for the quick reload. Is he gonna be able to catch this last straggler? He does.
Beautiful spray down to get the back line and immediately goes for the flush. 8 eliminations for CAG Osaka.
That's good.
A potential surprise entry at the top of the tables right now. I don't think too many people would have put them there in their top 4. On the southeast side, though, they've still got to push in a little bit further, and Harame Bro managed to get 3 through.
Take it to the bank. Sometimes you got to make a player sacrifice. That's exactly what they did. But they do have CAG Osaka on their backs with some beautiful angles against them. Those smokes are going to go away eventually. Let's see what IWNRX is going to do. Are they going to prioritize shooting this remaining player on the hill, or are they going to let him take out Bro first?
It's an interesting quandary, right? You don't want CAG Osaka to be able to push through, but at the same time, you got more to worry about. Maybe take them both out at the same time. That'll work. That would be the best result, right? TJB, by the way, the last team to make that east side rotate, that wide swing towards the South Rozhok high ground, has started to gain momentum now. 7 eliminations on the side. They're playing on the east. They can get this res. However, their next move is their most difficult rotation of this match. If they can get into a stronghold position from here, I would be very surprised, given how clumped up and open their next set is.
Yeah, they're completely stuck right there. I don't think they have any vehicles as well, but CAG Osaka run out into the open, get a couple knocks onto Harame Bro, but that is going to be it. 9 eliminations for them. Great game. Regardless, Harame Bro down in 13th place. Just you can see them fighting for their lives right now. Their tournament life, as a matter of fact. TJB, got to worry about Inko. Nunez is right here. He can get all these players. Oh, no. He gets 2. Goes for the 3rd. Oh, gets him down to 1 HP, but gets caught by Mashita's Black.
Oh, the off angle with the PPB zone gonna take them down, and TJB can put themselves back together here. With all of the teams on the eastern side dispatched now, they have open ground to try and cover. Smokes are there, they need to look for something, but where can they go? It is so terrifying to make this move.
They can go to the lobby. That's where they're going right now. I'll tell you that right now, because good luck. That is a terrible spot, but you know what? Sometimes you just gotta deal with what you get. And they are out of this next circle. If anybody's even looking in the direction, they are done for.
Harame Bro.
Oh, and look at that.
On the south side. It's just so open sightlines from this building, and IWNRX haven't had to move a muscle in so long on this one. They've already got 7 eliminations. With the Sandhawk, with this game as well, they are staring downhill at the rest of the teams in this lobby at this stage.
Yeah, they have just been circle blessed once again. They got it in Sandhawk. They crushed it. TJB with the smoke walls right here, inching closer and closer and closer.
They
might even make it into this next zone right here. So it ends up working out for them. I'm surprised that IWNRX wasn't keeping a closer eye on that smoke wall. Z-Wolf saw him, but instead deciding to group up closer and closer. It looks like they're going to leave it to their gun skill towards the end.
In they go. They're looking for a little peek around towards Harame Bro, but I don't think Harame Bro want the thunder. They're just going to try and keep that one in the bottle for the time being. 1 nade on that side, but look at the amount of nades for TJB. They've been able to roll through, remember, about 4 squads worth of supplies, so they should be pretty kitted up. Another nade over the top towards Bro. That's the Long's last nade. Flower has one of his own. They keep the ordnance going. They're burning off that ridgeline. I think that was supposed to go a little bit longer with the Molotov. Unlikely that you get someone peeking from that angle. If you did, IWNRX would take him down.
TJB saying, how much you want to bet I could throw a nade over those mountains right there? And coming up short. Meanwhile, there we go. Here comes Wolf trying to get another knock on the TJB. The nades are starting to ring out. One player up left for Harami, bro. Ooh, nades going back and forth. Not prioritizing the res at all. Stands up, gets a knock.
With the shots ringing out, Besiktas have tried to make that move, but they're being slowed down. There is a knockback over towards TJB on the linearized fight here, but Lawrence is there. And a nade from the off angle. IWNRX flexing out, fighting 3 teams right now. IWNRX still playing as 4, but they have got a knock on that north side. They are going to have to try and pull that one back in, but it's unlikely to be an easy hold. Swain nades over, TJB back together, 4 players alive on that open ridgeline. They've actually managed to make the crossing, Hot Jukes.
They do make it to that edge, and that is super fortunate for them. And if IWNRX and Besiktas Black go into an engagement here, TJB get third party. So let's see how this ends up playing out. This is stage 8, folks. The zone is about to go into nothing. The pressure is on, and it's really up to IWNRX to finish off strong.
They are the meat in this sandwich right now. And the team with the most to gain, a massive lead going into the first set of matches, would be the reward for taking this one down here. They've already got quite a few eliminations. TJB looking to chase as well. And Besiktas Black chasing for their tournament lives.
Let's see what happens. TJB are right there on the edge. They were currently sitting in 4th place. Down, all the way down is Besiktas Black, though. They have the most to gain. They need this game, and they need this chicken dinner if they want to put themselves in contention for top 4. If you're anybody else on this leaderboard, if you're fans watching of anybody that's not currently in the game right now, you need to be cheering on Besiktas Black with everything that you got.
Absolutely. You do not want the teams at the top to accelerate away from you. More and more of those top 4 places are going to get secured as time goes on.
That's right.
It's going to be so much harder to take them away. You allow IWNRX to cement themselves in those top 4 spots with an early lead like this. You're only going to have 3 chances left.
That's right. Yeah, not to mention TJB aren't that far off as well. They already had 20 points before going into this match. So they could definitely put that gap even further ahead, taking another one of those spots. Look at that angle, though. Oh, my goodness. He saw almost 3 of those players. Gets one, and perfectly on time, too, because they're not going to be able to get that rest.
A little bit slow on the hop up onto the windowsill means that he can't flush on the rest of them. There's a knock sent back to Swain, and Besiktas Black need to move.
Oh,
the circle is closing. The flush looks to come through onto Flower, kind of able to do a lot more work onto the back lines. Besiktas trying to cross, and TJB is slowing them down in the meantime. All teams fighting now. TJB with the high ground ridgeline, and Kine goes down as well. GK first holds it out for TJB.
Tospic gets the nade and another knock. So you can see 2 of these teams focusing on to TJB. Those are the easy eliminations ahead of them. GK first does make it to the tree. And now we see Besiktas Black start to throw some nades towards IWNRX. But so far, the pressure is off. They have so much coverage. Let's see what Tospic can do. Can he hit another huge nade here? Second thoughts. He waits for it.
As it stands, I'm giving it to TJB. On the outside here, Besiktas have to mount in a single line. IWNRX are there as well. The ridgeline is there. The blue zone's going to push these buildings out, and you have to jump into dangerous positions. A forward break for them, and GK first nearly goes down. He doesn't have any first aids, but Swain has to leave this roof soon. Tospic stands up, doesn't get the spray down. TJB just need to hold out for just moments longer, and they'll have it. Kine up to the wall. GK first goes down, and Swain's still in the building, able to do so much damage to them on the backlines. It's all up to Longs, but Besiktas have a shout as well. Zekwals pushes in. IWNRX trying to move on through. Find a second chicken dinner on the day and turn their fate around in the survival stage. Tospic holding on for dear life downhill, but it's only going to burn hotter and hotter as IWRX send out wide. 2 players on the sidelines though, and they're lining them up. 1 more player to go, and Poser's there. TJB all the while holding out for just a moment longer. Swain now with an all to do, and IWNRX for a second match on the board.
Are you kidding me? They are gonna rocket launch up the leaderboards. They're already in first place. That gap is gonna start looking really big. There's only been 3 matches so far. I mean, what more could you ask for if you're an IWNRX fan? This is a perfect start.
This is momentum, Hot Jukes. This is how you want to carry yourselves. Standing tall into the survival stage, beaten back, dejected, demoralized potentially from the group stage performance. They have risen, and nothing makes you shine quite as bright as those shadows behind you.
Oh boy, and you know what? That shadow is starting to grow even bigger right here, because that was a heck of a game for IWNRX. You talk about momentum. I know Jason Kaplan there in the studio. I can't wait to see what his momentum meter looks like, because for IWNRX, it's got to be breaking the charts.
Absolutely brilliant way to kick things off. I was saying top 4 gonna be sat towards the high 80s, around that 90-point mark. So far, they have put a massive dent in that. They have got, I think, up to around 40 or more points so far in the first half of today. Given their 2 chicken dinners, given their elimination count, I thought TJB were gonna have it, but then Swain from the top floor of that building took down the entire ridgeline.
Swain was so smart.
Huge.
Swain was so smart because he could have taken that roof. I think a lot of players would have, but he knew that, you know what, nades are going to be ringing out onto this position. I can't afford it, even though the sightlines are great. Let's look at the reactions here. Oh, so excited.
They are ready for this one, and so am I. I mean, I was so disappointed with their group stage, because this is a roster that took our breath away back in EMEA.
Yeah.
They had so much power. It was all the Zed Wolf show, but right there, I think that was Swain's game.
I think so. I mean, that angle there was absolutely critical to the rest of that match. He was able to get beautiful sightlines on everybody down there and was just making it happen. So IWNRX, we know they're going to be in first place, but just by how much? That's the question.
That is the question, indeed. CAG Osaka, they got a little bit done in that match as well. A lot of points being accrued, but we've got to march on with the matches. That's going to be it from us today, but there's more games for you guys to watch. So we're going to be handing it over to Blank and Jackie on the caster desk, but first, we've got to go to the analyst box.
Welcome back to the PUBG Mobile World Cup at the Esports World Cup. My name is the 7WG, and I'm joined by Kitsune from Team Spirit. Kitsune, what happened in these first 2 matches?
Basically, we had a contest on Sanhok, and it is what it is. We just had like really bad fight for us. We got the first knock, and then they just pushed like as a 4, so it was a tough one. But it didn't honestly matter. We knew that, so we can either get like 4 kills or we just die fast. So, you know, it happens. It happens. It's just normal. You have to keep the mentality and focus on the next games. But then there's the wrangling that happened. We fought for the garage, and it's just unlucky. There are like just few guns, and they dropped like a little bit faster, so they got the guns, and we had basically no chance there. I mean, just a tough 2 games, you know. We still understand that we just need to get to the top 4. Like first place, second place, third place, doesn't matter. Honestly, only top 4 means for us a lot. So it's just like a challenge at this point for us, you know, get like top 4 in 10 games. So it is what it is.
Right on, man. Well, hey, I appreciate your time, and best of luck on the next matches. Back to you guys.
Escape what comes along. You do colorblind to visualize to read what they want to live for. Regardless of your mind, destined to shine. Can I do what you wanna do? It's like a job. Nothing can change my very destiny. And scared of my ability, my curiosity. I know all I ever need is keeping up the peace. Why'd you prison me instead? Covet what's good from us. Escape what comes along. You're too colorblind to visualize who we are. Light, careless, no less. Regardless of your mind, destined to shine. Can I do what you wanna do? It's like to jump. Nothing can't change my will, destiny. And the end. Life all above, pray for us. Wonder what they wish for, what they wanna live for.
Chicken dinner for IWNRX. They get themselves not just one, not just two, but just two. Chicken dinner is so funny. I realized after I said that made no sense. But a big showing by this team coming from Turkey to really show what they've got and obviously try to get themselves through into the main event. For you guys who are watching at home, while you're watching, make sure you guys are checking out that PUBG Mobile has been nominated for the Mobile Esports Game of the Year. You can actually see a QR code appear down below me where you guys can actually go vote. And while you're voting for that, you can also vote for the Esports Analyst of the Year, which if I'm not mistaken, Seven, you might be on the list for that.
I am. I'm currently a finalist. Surprise. I don't know how that happened.
How does that make you feel, Max, man, that he got put in except
I suck, I know. I get it. No, I'm
there's
really,
a
really bad. He's just better. Okay, he's built different.
There's a requirement to the amount of shows you have to be on and not be sick on to be nominated, unfortunately. But while you guys are watching as well, make sure you guys follow PUBG Mobile Esports over on TikTok and also post a video of you doing your favorite victory dance either in-game or out-of-game with the hashtag PMWC victory dance. Get the camera on them. What is this? And you can be entered to win a chance of $3,000 virtual gift cards. Max, favorite victory dance. Let's go.
Oh, you.
Hey, you were gone 3 days, man. We got to put it all on you.
Gonna sweep in the floor with my enemies. Yes.
Okay, all right. I can get behind that. But gentlemen, IWNRX, man, two chicken dinners on the first day here of our survival stage, and this is a team that's showing they want to survive. They want to make it to the main event. They want to play for that $1.5 million.
They want to survive this stage. And that's it.
That's about it.
No, but I mean, really, they were given an opportunity, I would say here, Seven, that shouldn't have been given to them, which is those buildings to the east of Sunken City or Atlantis or whatever the hell you want to call it, should not have been given to them for free. And Besiktas just, we don't want a piece of that. And then give them a game-winning position.
Yeah, they were willing to coexist for a long time. Something that I did like, though, that we're kind of able to point out with IWNRX is the angle that they were able to get on JB. Kane at the end, that was perfect. Given though he wasn't able to get a lot of eliminations, but just putting that extra pressure, he did end up getting one player knocked and an extra elimination. That kind of stopped TJB from even thinking about possibly third party in a fight.
What you have to do when TJB are getting pushed by the blues to slow down that rotation, right? Just keep them out in the blue, take damage. It did kind of suck for Kane at the end because he had some nice shotgun shots go whoop, out in the blue, knocked away. So that was a bit unfortunate. Like,
he was 100%.
So he was blue Kane and then he was Kane. And
he was Kane in the blue, yeah.
Okay. We are seeing like Falcons are on the second page, Team Spirit on the second page with just 3 points. Inco as well there. It's getting tough for some of these teams. I mean, I know you can't say they could have a bad match or two, but if you the thing is, it's not top 12 anymore. That's the point I'm trying to nail home here. It's top 4, which is insanely hard getting that alone, but getting it into a lobby of this caliber is even more difficult. What's up?
Especially with the way some of the other teams are playing now that are currently towards the top. Right now, this is the second win out of NRX with the way that they're currently performing. if they, for some reason, today end up getting another chicken dinner, or if they end up getting some good placement points and some good elimination points, it's going to be hard for teams to pass them tomorrow. So that could be one team already qualified, right? So for teams like Inko, for some of the other teams like Team Spirit, when by the way, when Kitsune told me that he just wanted to keep on hot dropping, I was like, but why?
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Well, we're talking about, you did mention before about Besiktas here sitting in Watertown, IWNRX there as well. Besiktas, though, I feel like we did see them just playing very passive when it came to the group stage, and we're kind of seeing that passiveness show yet again.
Passiveness is not going to qualify you in top 4. That's the issue. It's not going to be enough, right? You need to get elimination, just placement points. No, it's not going to cut it at all. You need to get any strong positions like where IWNRX were. And you, like Kane, as you mentioned, his angle was so impressive. You want to see them get involved in the fights, get every single one of these opportunities, because otherwise you're just not going to make it to the finals here. So we need to see a big change of pace for them, because teams that are opportunistic like IWNRX, do one mistake, they're going to snatch that position away.
A team that was quite a surprise for me, especially with the way that they have performed so far in this survival stage, is, and I can't believe I'm currently going to say their name, Kago Osaka. I mean, the way this team has been able to play, especially this last match, they were able to kind of wait for the right time, find a location straight down the middle of the circle, and actually defend it against some of the other teams. Yeah, it was a big surprise, because this team, if you would have told me that Kago Osaka was going to be doing that after what I saw at group stages, I would have been like, no, you're crazy. But for some reason, it's a completely different Kago Osaka.
But you could say the exact same thing about IWNRX too, right? Yep. They were at the pretty much bottom of the leaderboards.
Maybe it's that they're feeling a little bit more confident, right? I mean, we even saw it early on with Team Falcons, with the way that they were able to perform. They just didn't really care. They were just hunting people down.
Get out of here. I'm trying to make room for our lovely commentators. We got Jackie, we got Blank, looking fantastic today, gentlemen. What's your take on the first half of your survival stage?
Oh, Jason, it's been spicy, man. We were sat there looking on the phone in the shuttle, getting to the green room, eyes honed into the screen. It's been non-stop. And honestly, the fact that we get the last 3 games, I can't wait, Blank.
Look, our backs are straight here. Posture's good, but honestly, it's IWNRX who's flying straight at the moment. They are going straight for gold right now in first place.